Welcome back, everyone! This is Geronitis, bringing you Feed the Beast 1710. Today we are starting on episode 62, and today we're going to handle several things. Before I go very far, I want to acknowledge one thing. I have gotten a comment from one of my regulars. His name is 6210 Classic, and he actually asked me in the comment section, where did I get all this shiny metal from? And I don't know. I don't have an answer. When you actually look for the way to get shiny metal, it shows that you have to have shiny ore. And otherwise, you have to have reduced platinum chunks or dirty platinum gravel. And, all these things come from finding shiny ore or platinum ore. And I have never found any of that to my knowledge. So it kind of puts me in a, where did I get this from? So the other thing would be to get the shiny dust, okay? Shiny dust is gotten from shiny ore as well. And you can get it from extra bees, but I haven't done that much with bees yet. Thermal centrifuge, don't have that. The only thing is that it comes 10% from pulverizing ferrous ore, right? But the sag mill does not actually produce it. Like, you have to have shiny ore. So I actually have no idea where this shiny metal came from. So I'm going to assume that it's a glitch, and I'm going to delete it. If I need some, I can always make some. I'm going to build a pulverizer and all that stuff eventually anyway, so it's not really a big deal to deal with. But it does really aggravate me that I don't know where that came from. So thank you, 6210 Classic. You have got me really, really upset and aggravated because I have no idea where that came from. And my amazing natural curiosity, I spent like half an hour trying to figure out where it came from. Just looking at all the possibilities of where it came from. I have no idea. So I just assume it's a glitch and we'll move on. Okay, so I deleted the extra stuff because I don't know where it came from. I'm keeping my crossbow. Because, sorry. But I'm keeping my crossbow. But thank you, 6210 Classic. Alright, so, without any more delay, we are going to go ahead and do some power management things, along with a couple other things if I have time. Okay, power management. Right now, we are burning blocks of coal. And it's, they're doing well, and that's fine. But this is a bit basic for power supplies. I've been running the same power supply for, 60 episodes now? Didn't I build these in like episode 2 or 3? I don't remember. But either way, we need to move past this. One, because I can't keep remembering to fill this thing. And I know I can always make it so that this barrel automatically exports over to these, and that would work. But, we're not going to do that. So today we're going to go ahead and build ourselves a big reactor, and that will make it so I never have to have power issues ever again. Like ever again. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and look into some big reactor things, okay? Now, big reactors is actually a really cool mod. It's pretty horribly overpowered, to be honest with you, and that's why I haven't used it up until now. Now that I'm this far into it, I really feel like it's okay to use. I realistically could have built a big reactor probably in like the 5th or 6th episode, and then I would just have never had any issues with power at all. But like I said, I wasn't really okay with that. But now that we're this far in, I can do anything I want for power. This is just the simplest, and this is what we're going to do. So one of the first things you need to make is reactor casings. Okay, reactor casings require yellorium, which we have thousands of, iron that we have thousands of, and graphite bars. Graphite bars are made by cooking coal. Okay, now because we don't want to have to wait for that, I went ahead and made 6 stacks of coal into graphite bars so that we can now go ahead and make ourselves some reactor casings. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and give myself, we're going to make 2 stacks of these. I really didn't need 2 whole stacks, but I am going to be using this because the reactor casings are used for a lot, and I do mean a lot of things, okay? Like, almost everything in this mod uses reactor casings to build it. Like, yellorium fuel rod is, like, the only thing that doesn't use it. Okay, otherwise, a power tap uses them, the access port uses them, coolant port uses them, rednet port uses them, everything uses them. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and build a basic, what is that? Oh, the rotor bearings. Yeah, that might be later when we get into some like serious power usage, like some oh my god power usage. But we're not going to get into that yet. So we're going to need some Yellorium fuel rods. But first, I need to lay out the reactor. I went ahead and dug a spot down here away from everything else, and I'm going to build the big reactor here. Okay, I figure on making the reactor 5 wide, 5 deep, and 4 high. Okay, so for that, we're going to do. That's 5, right? Yep, that's 5. Oh, come on. Don't be like that. Now, this is actually going to produce way more power than I'm ever going to need, and I do mean ever. Well, maybe not ever. I mean, the potential for this thing to be amazing power-wise is really high. I eventually will do things that are going to require, thousands of RF per tick. Well, I might. It just depends. Anyway, so when you're building a big reactor, obviously you need to build the casing first. And the casing has to be built in this way, okay? The edges and the bottom have to be made of the actual casing blocks themselves. Okay? You can't substitute these blocks for anything else, all right? So those have to be just like that. And the bottom has to be solid as well. The top will need to be solid, but there's a couple of pieces that will go in the top as well. So we're going to go ahead and get that going. All right, but we're going to go ahead and fill in, I think it's here, 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 and here. And we're going to leave these top parts open because we're going to be putting pieces in there. Wow, this is... it'll be fine. I don't like the look of it, honestly. It's just kind of... Maybe I should make it 5 by 5. It would look better that way. I'll have to eat some of these conduits to do it that way, though. Literally, put some ketchup on them. Num num, eat them. I don't know why I said it like that. Alright, so... Yeah, it's going to look better as a 5 by 5. I really don't want to have to do that, but it actually is the right way to go about it. So let me reroute a couple of these lines and build the casing back, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, got the casing built, and now we're going to go ahead and build a couple of the other small things that we're going to be able to use here. Alright, back to the big reactor section. Alright, so we're going to need ourselves a reactor controller. Very simple. Just one of those. And we're also going to need to put the reactor casings in here so we can use them. How did it have... Oh, it pulled them from my inventory. Got it. And we're going to need one reactor control rod. Now, I can make as many of these as I want. Well, actually, technically speaking, I can only make 9. But I'm only going to put one reactor fuel rod in here for now, okay? But since it's going to be tall, we're going to need 3 of the fuel rods and 1 of the fuel rod control rods, okay? And that's going to control this, all right? So I can add as many of these as I want as long as there's space on the inside, and I'll show you how that works here in just a second. Second thing I'm going to need is I'm going to need a couple of access ports, which means I need a couple of pistons. And you know what? 41, sure. Oh, wait, I'm out of cobblestone? That's fun. And good. So we need 2 of these. And I'm out of chests? Really? Let's do something about that. I don't need them right now, but... There, now I don't have to worry about it. Alright, the access ports. We're also going to need a reactor redstone port. Well, you don't have to have this. This is how I choose to do my setup. It's to control the reactor being turned on and off. Well, actually, you can do a couple things with it, but I'm going to use to control whether the reactor's on or off. Okay? And along with that, we are going to need a power tap. There it is. And this allows you to actually withdraw power from the reactor itself. Okay, other than that, we're going to need some reactor glass. I really have got to make it where I can actually just have a bunch of glass. It would make a whole lot of sense. Okay, 1 apiece, that's fine. We'll just make a bunch. And now we should be able to go ahead down here and put our reactor together. Except for the, well, yeah. Yeah, 2,086 Yellorium. So yeah, that's enough to run this reactor for the rest of time. Much less the fact that I'm going to be getting more stuff over time. All right, so when you're putting your reactor together, you're going to need to have a reactor control rod at the top of your fuel rod. Okay, I'm going to put one fuel rod in here. Okay, now I can have as many fuel rods as will fit in here, which would be a total of 9 in total. Okay, so I can have 9 if I want to, but for my purposes right now, I just don't need that much. It's just not necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and fill this part in. And I was one short. Oh well, no big deal. Alright, so then we're going to have the reactor controller. I'm going to go ahead and put this right here in the front center. That's going to be the only thing I put in the front center because I want everything else to look pretty. And we're going to go ahead and fill in the rest of the front with reactor glass. Okay, now when this forms, when the multi-block forms, it'll actually look a lot nicer, but for now, this is the way it's going to look. Alright, so let's see. Let's put this stuff down in my inventory. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put one of the access ports right here. And this one, I'm going to set this to output mode. And then I will run some of the item conduits down to this to accept any waste materials that this reactor creates. Okay, then I'm thinking, actually, you know what? I'll probably just go ahead and put them both right here. Might as well. And this one will be input. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and put the Yellorium. Okay, and that's going to put it into the reactor when the reactor forms. Alright, so that should be all I want to do with this side. So we'll go ahead and fill the rest in with the glass. Alright, so let's see. This back side actually can just be... actually, you know what? I think I'm going to... Yeah, we'll do that way. I'm going to go ahead and put the reactor power tap. I think I'll put it right here. And then this can be filled in with glass. Alright, and then back here I'm going to put the redstone port, which will let me control the reactor being turned on and off. And in theory, when I place this last block, it will form a multi-block. Multi-block form? No. What'd I miss? Oh yeah, that's right. The one piece of casing up there that I've... Yeah. I knew that. I gotta remember I can fly. It's easy to forget sometimes. Alright. So now we should be able to multi-block form. And it did. Alright, so the multi-block has formed, as you can see. And now it shows that the Yellorium fuel rod in there is yellow now because it's full of Yellorium. Alright, so when we access the reactor controller here, it tells me a couple of things. It tells me that the reactor is offline. It says that the core fuel status, 100% full with nothing else going on, that I have one rod, and maximum capacity is 12,000 millibuckets. Alright, so cool. Over here is your casing heat and your core heat, and then your energy buffer. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn the reactor on. Alright, so our core heat is immense. Okay, the core heat is basically, you want your core heat to be as low as possible. It makes your reactor more efficient. Your casing heat is actually better to have it be higher. The casing heat being higher means that you get more power out of your fuel that is used. The core heat being high, well, as you can see here, it says, core heat is transferred to the casing. Transfer is based upon the design of the reactor's interior. Okay, you want the heat to be transferred to the core. The higher the core casing heat, the better you're going to do. So right now we have 553 RF per tick, roughly. We're going to go ahead and deactivate the reactor. That was 553, right? Yeah, 553. Alright, so that is not too bad, but that's with a lot of the internal stuff. Like, I can run off a 553. 553, no problem. Works just great for me. And that will run my entire system, and that's fine. But we can make this better. We can make this more efficient. First things first, let's go ahead and... we're going to put this as the power tap. Let's go upstairs and let's steal. Oops, not that side, this side. Let's steal this capacitor bank. I'll probably make a couple more of these just to have a higher overall power capacity, but that's alright. Good, and that hooks straight in, and now we should be able to see over here. Yep, the energy buffer is now empty. Cool, and the vibrant capacitor bank is now good to go. So the other thing we're going to do is we're going to go up here and we're going to steal this power monitor, and we're going to put it in behind the reactor here, and it is going to be hooked in. Whoa, where did I just go? Oh, that's what that is. Okay, got it. Lost much? All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hook this in right. Let's see, the redstone port's right there. Eh, why not? We'll just put it right here under my feet. No. I need more space than that. We're going to put it right over here. Well, actually, let's just go ahead and hook it in right there. Yeah, because it needs to be hooked into the power conduit here, so that's awesome. Alright, and we should be able to go ahead and run this down to there. So now we have everything working out. Oh, nope. Can't do that. Needs to be one more over so that it doesn't hook in directly to the rest of that. This needs to come out the top of the capacitor. And why won't you place? Okay, fine. What the? Oh, because of the... I was like, why won't it place? Because there's a light source there. Alright, cool. So now this capacitor bank is actually draining out to the system. And then the reactor itself is going to be putting power out into the capacitor bank, and the capacitor bank will work normally there. Now, what I'll probably do is I'll probably make a couple more vibrant capacitor banks and just put 2 more of these right here. And that way it'll just have this entire, thing look better that way. I think it'll look nicer that way. But before we do that, we're going to go ahead and make this reactor more efficient, okay? And to do that, we're going to break it. All right, so what we need to do is we need to put coolant inside of here, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make ourselves a couple more machines, and we're going to go ahead and make ourselves some coolant. All right, now, there's a couple of ways that we can do this. There's actually quite a few ways that we can do this. But for my purposes, I'm just going to go with something that I have easy access to, okay? First off, I'm going to need a magma crucible, which shouldn't be a big deal to make. Look at that. I have pretty much everything necessary. Yeah, except for the everything. Let's just make a couple of these just for the fun of it. Resonance basic. I really thought I had some of these left over from previous builds of these kind of things, but apparently not. 2 Invar gears. A leadstone energy cell frame. No biggie, and there we go. 1 magma crucible. Alright, this is going to allow me to melt things and use them as coolants. So I need to hook this into power. Oh, there's power right there. Let's do that. Magma crucible getting power. Awesome. Alright, we're going to go ahead and configure this thing to output out the top. And I will just input to it myself. And let's see, I need... Oops, not that. I need a drum. Let's see, I have an essence drum and a honey drum. What in the world is that doing here? That's strange. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let's not. Let's just go with a portable tank. I like the idea of using a portable tank better because I don't have to empty one. I'll just make one real quick. Here we go. 1 portable tank. Very easily made. Just a bunch of glass and some copper. Alright, so this will actually only hold 8 buckets. And I want to hold more than that, so we're going to go ahead and make the hardened portable tank, which is just the portable tank surrounded by Invar. This will hold 32 buckets worth, and that's probably more than I need. So let's go ahead and grab some ender pearls, since we have lots of these. And let's go ahead and start melting some. Now, I should be able to go ahead and place this on top here, and it will get filled with the resonant ender that is being created. All right, cool. So while that's doing that, we need to do a couple of other things. First off, we need to make it so that the reactor will automatically be turned on and off by the power monitor, okay? And that's going to require me to have to walk all the way around the reactor because I placed all that stuff already. All right, so the power monitor is going to monitor how much stuff is in the system, and when we tell it to do engine controls, it is going to emit a redstone signal when the storage is less than, and I'm going to go ahead and change this to 10%. Okay, so it will emit a redstone signal when the storage in the entire system is less than 10% full. Okay, and I'm going to tell it to stop when it is greater than, well, actually, 99 is pretty much okay. But we're going to go with 95 just for the fun of it. All right. So that means that anytime that the overall capacity of the system drops below 10%, so in this case, capacitor bank storage, 10% of 25 million is going to be 25,000. So that is right, isn't it? 10%? Or is it 250,000? I think it's 250,000. Anyway, I can't do math on camera, so sue me. Anyway, when it drops down to a certain point, it will output a redstone signal. All right, so I need to have the reactor react to that signal. All right, so let's go over here. We're going to need a lever because we're going to show you how this is supposed to work, or I'm going to try to anyway. And we're going to have a conduit. We're going to use the insulated redstone conduits. Can I make some more of these? Because I don't think 5 is going to be enough. That's perfect. Excellent. Alrighty. And we should be able to go ahead and show you how this is going to work. Alright, so coming off of the power monitor, we're going to set this up. And we're going to, first off, make sure that this is not connected. Now, when this is going to be, like, here, let's go into this real quick. Right now we're at 7 million. Let's change this. Emit signal when storage is less than, we're just going to change this to 90% full because I know that that's true. And you can see that we now have a redstone signal in this conduit. See, it's glowing. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to the reactor redstone port, and we can actually have this be controlled in a number of different ways. We can have it, output your fuel and waste and whatnot, but we're going to just do the input toggle reactor on and off. Okay, and we're going to have it set from signal, and we're going to commit this to what it wants to be. Okay, so now when we activate the reactor, which actually let's just go ahead and do this real quick since I'm waiting for the resonant ender to melt anyway. We'll reform this real quick, and we will activate the reactor, and you can see that it is online. So now we'll go ahead and hook this in. And wow, I could do this in a lot nicer way. Okay, let's just do this like this then. Alright, and stop being connected. Thank you. Alright, so now you can see that we have a redstone signal coming through here, and that should be disabling the reactor. Status is online. Why it should be offline? If it's got a redstone signal, oh, because this is emitting a redstone signal. No, that's backwards. Toggle reactor on and off. Okay, maybe I'm missing something here. Let's do that. And let's go ahead and put this in right here. Okay, so now the redstone signal is off, and the reactor is off. For some reason, I thought it didn't work that way. Redstone signal is on. And now the reactor's back on again. Cool. So now what we want to do is hook this back in like normal. So now we have the signal is on, keeping the reactor going, right? But the problem is that, well, actually, it's not really a problem at all. When we switch this to 10%, so when the storage is less than 10% full, it will turn on and will remain on when the signal, or will remain on until the storage reaches 95% full. So this is going to keep the reactor on and have things functioning nicely until it reaches the top, until it's full. Well, 95% full anyway. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and break the reactor. No, not the whole thing. There we go. All right, so let's see. How many buckets do we have ready now? 5250. That is going to take a little bit of time. All right, so give me just a minute to let this melt, and we'll be right back. All right, got that melted down, got it filled in. I filled it in off camera because I wound up teleported around a bunch. By the way, there's also a really fun side effect. If you ever want to have some really, really interesting fun and get really, really lost, take a bucket of liquid ender pearls and use a straw from Mine Factory Reloaded. Place the bucket in the world and just hold right-click on it with the straw. Let me know how that goes. Anyway, multi-block form. And the multi-block has reformed. And I don't know why it was showing power on, but whatever. Offline is good. All right, cool. I went ahead and added the item conduits here to take any excess waste that comes out of here. And we're going to go ahead and hook up an export bus right here to export into the system, or into the reactor, the yellorium, so I never have to worry about it again. As long as the reactor is capable of receiving it, it will get it. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that. As a matter of fact, give me one of these just for fun. And you're going to be exporting yellorium. Alrighty. And we're going to go ahead and hook this in. Now, I think this will work. I'm not really certain. I've never done it before. So we're going to try this. But in theory, a P2P tunnel... No, that's facing the wrong way. Okay, I need to run it from over here first. Alright, so we're going to run this across the ceiling here. And I'm going to go ahead and place the P2P tunnel here. There we go. And now I should be able to go ahead and hook this in. Oh man, I did it one off, really? Well, that's okay. It doesn't have to be. Well, actually, yeah, it does. I want it to be prettier. Alright, so then we should be able to hook the P2P here. And hook this in right here. And now we should be able to go ahead and, let's see, shift right click for this, and then I should be able to right click this one, loaded settings, and now we should be full. Bingo! Exporting yellorium. Cool. So basically what I did there was, see, this main line right here is just a power line. So I just hooked in a second P2P tunnel that is hooked in now here and all the way over here. So this is both working off the same input with two outputs. So that is excellent. All right, cool. And we should be coming on at some point, actually very soon. Ah, crud, I can't get around there to see it. Well, we're draining rather quickly. 269 RF per tick. We're down to 3 million. I would think it's going to kick on. Oh, well, not relevant. So, before we were making 550 to 560. Now that we have the Resonant Ender in there, let's manually activate this. No, I don't want to manually activate it. I want proof that it's going to activate itself. Blarg. Alright, well, let that do that for just a second. I want to do one other thing, because other than that, I think this build is pretty much complete. I need to put the floor back. Now, we can control the big reactor in a bunch of different ways, and I'm not really going to go into that right now because I honestly don't care about those other ways to control it. This will function as I want it to anyway, so you guys are no longer necessary. But now I'll have to fix the hole in the floor where you guys were. Alright, so anyway, turn on for me. Alright, so now this is going to make the main power, but I want to be able to move power around in a more effective way. Okay, one of my next builds that I'm thinking about doing is actually going to require me to be able to move power wirelessly, essentially. Okay, so what I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to go ahead and create a dimensional transceiver. Alright, the dimensional transceiver is a way to do just that. It will allow me to move power without having to actually run wires. Okay, it basically teleports power. Alright, I'm going to need an ender crystal and an ender resonator. Ender crystal. Oh, wow. Vibrant crystal with a enderman soul. Okay. And a... Okay, I need to go over to the nether real quick. And I need to pick up my enderman heads. And as long as I'm there, I will go ahead and pick up a couple endermen. Oh. Wolf, hobgoblin, peck forager. Yeah, I know. Let's make a couple of soul vials. Let's make some solarium. Oh, I need to teach... Well, no, it's not really that important. Alright, I'm going to make some of this and go over to the nether, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think I found my lag problem. I'm thinking that at some point Killer Joe's sword broke. That's... yeah. Pretty much gonna have to be the situation here. I completely forgot that I never gave him an eternal sword. So, bad me, I guess. How about this? If I can get to Killer Joe, I'll give him this sword, and he can just go wasting these guys. That'll be fine. Yes! Yep, Killer Joe's sword is gone. Okay. Well, that makes sense. So, that explains all the lag, and that's fine. Killer Joe, yeah, you have fun with that. Let me let him finish cleaning this up, and I'll come back when I'm actually making the dimensional transceivers. I'll be back. Oh boy, that was a bit of a mess, but taken care of, not too bad. Had to leave Killer Joe turned off for now because I don't have a sword to give him that won't be destroyed, and I'm not leaving him my Terra Blade. I'm definitely, absolutely, and totally never ever going to take a chance of that being destroyed. But that means that we're going to have to go give Killer Joe something better. Well, I mean, realistically, we could probably just leave him off for now. I don't really think he's greatly necessary. But at the same time... kind of like the idea of keeping him running. Alright, so let's see. We should have enough for a couple of these, or not. Fused quartz. Okay, how about some quartz? I'll tell you what, you think you've got enough stuff. And then they're like, haha, no. Well, things are still running, so I'm assuming that the big reactor kicked on. This should cook me up some more quartz. There we go. 2 of these. We'll go 3 of these. We'll be making more of these later on down the line because this will be the way to teleport power around. So, with this being the output, this being the main output, we're going to put one of these right here. Alright, so power is coming in. Oh, hey, it's got a new GUI. That's kind of cool. Alright, we got sending for items and receiving items. Oh, wow, we got a big new GUI. That's, wow, okay. Let's just go with power. Power, this is going to be named main. add this as the channels, and we're going to send from this one. And we're just going to leave it at that. And we're going to go ahead and go over to the Pneumaticraft section, because as you guys might remember, the Pneumaticraft section, I used my old capacitors to keep it running. And now I want my old capacitors because they can be useful. So we're going to go ahead and take these capacitor banks down. And we're going to go ahead and put a dimensional transceiver here. And we're going to switch over to power. We're going to hit receive on main. So now we should have power flowing in. And this should be constantly powered. Yep, currently receiving power on the main. Sweet. And that should take care of that. Alright. So with that, we should pretty well be okay to go ahead and close out the episode. We've got power running constantly. We've got teleportation of power. Let's see. We've got export of excess fuel, import of new fuel, and yeah. Oh, by the way, let's see what the reactor's doing. 1.43 kilo RF. So basically 1400. We went from 553 without anything in there, and what did we just? Oh, cool! I just accidentally caught it turning itself off. Sweet. All right, now before I go any further, let's go ahead and see if we can't make ourselves. Let's make ourselves some more vibrant capacitor banks. Now, I know... here we go. Normal capacitor banks plus... Let's see if we can make this. I don't think we can. Capacitor banks. Okay, so we just need a vibrant crystal. Do we have enough to make one more of these? No, we don't. How about... that. Then this. No, just did that. And last thing, this. Sweet. Another vibrant capacitor bank to add to this one down here. I'll go ahead and make another one off camera. And next episode, we're going to come back. And I've got a couple of things planned. I think they're going to be really cool. I'm hoping they'll be really cool anyway. So cool, we now have 50 million RF, and I'm going to put one more capacitor bank right there. So until next time, this is Jeronitis signing off on episode 62 of my Let's Play series. Like me if you like me, subscribe if you want to see what we get into next, and as always, help spread the gaming!